And welcome into a Wednesday edition of Philly Voice Sports Bets. I am Harry Mays. He's Matt Cherico, all Chericoed up with some NBA plays coming into tonight. And I understand sources have told me.
Here we go.
Okay, sources in the barn have told me that Aton has got a hockey play or two that he's going to roll out on today's show. So aside from looking ahead to the NFL divisional round tilts that we now know who's playing who, we got all that to look forward to, but we do have to take a look back to Monday night, a game that I absolutely loved. I sat there watching Dak Prescott just carve up the Tampa Bay defense. I did a gambling show at halftime. Every bet I put out hit. It was amazing. And has anybody done a welfare check on the Dallas Cowboy kicker? Maher.
Oh, Brett Maher?
My
Money
goodness.
Maher, they call him? He's fine.
Dude, that didn't go over the total because he missed 4 extra points.
There you go.
If he makes one of those, the game goes over the 45.5.
Never bet the total in postseason. Ever.
Oh, my goodness.
Ever. I can't watch football anymore. Like, until the Eagles come back, I can't.
Why?
Because it's I don't want to watch. Here's the thing. The first week of the NFL, Skylar Thompson, Tyler Huntley, Geno Smith, Tom Brady, backup quarterbacks. These guys are all backups, right?
TB12 getting tossed in there.
Got that, right, Matt?
Wow.
You know what this felt like? Oh, it's a one. I got some idiot telling me, not Twitter, like real life. Oh, it's one score stuff. You know what that was? That's like in like 5 minutes into the movie where the star of the movie is near death in a fight and some asshole in the front row is like, oh my God, he's going to die. No, he's not. They got 45 minutes of a movie left. There's no way that Skylar Thompson, Tyler Huntley, Geno Smith, or even that other idiot were going to win those games. So I felt like it was just like fast forward to this week. That's all I felt. Look, you hit bets out there, Harry, Matt, anybody else, fantastic. You should sit through the worst amount of slop possible if it means money in your pocket. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, outside of Doug Peterson doing what we all thought was going to happen, which was beat Brandon Staley, these guys are backups for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
Well, are you saying that they should get rid of the 7th wild card, the 7th seed, and do away with this extra wild card bullshit? Is that what you're advocating?
I think they should go back to baseball and have one wild card, right, in each.
Okay.
You've got 4 divisions, right?
Right. So one team gets a bye, and then the other 4, the 3 divisions and a wild card team have
at it.
All right.
You know why? Because look, if the Eagles lose to the Giants, Harry and Matt, then they've lost to a team that's a good football team. There's no caveats. There's no, but the Geno and the Tyler there's none of that shit, right? Like, it just felt like the first week was even the Bucks. We all knew the Bucks were shit, and I bet on the Bucks, whatever. But as far as a team is concerned, that's what it was. I am amazed, but I'm not, because I know you had money attached to it, that you sat through, like, you didn't have to sit through the second half, Harry.
Yeah, I did, because I chose
crazy.
to. What I should have done is I should have gone Dalton Schultz 2 touchdowns because they got the anytime touchdown. Pollard, hit that. Dak with the completions. And the Dallas Cowboy team total. It was a beautiful night. But we move on because we have games.
Yeah, I can't watch this shit
this week, and there's been some line movement here, guys. Jacksonville at Kansas City was 8.5, 51.5. It's now 9.5 and 49. And then it moved back down to 8.5 and 53. So the total is shot up to 53 in this game between Andy Reid and his protege. And the Chiefs are back down to an 8.5 point favorite. The Eagles game was 7 and 47.5, then moved to 7.5 and 48, and it stays there. Eagles 7.5, and I guarantee you those sharp guys love the Giants plus the 7.5. They don't like laying 7.5.
Well, think about
this. Shander.
Well, no, because if it opened at 7 and it moved to 7.5 and it's not moving, that means that sharps immediately jumped on it at 7 and moved it to 7.5.
Well, it opened at 6.5, I think.
Are you sure?
I think it opened at 6.5.
I thought it opened at 7.
I could be wrong.
Hold on. Let me go check the Jimmy Shapiro.
The offshore stuff.
Eagles opened at 7.5.
At 7.5. Oh, then it was bet down to 7 and then back up.
Yeah, I'm looking at this from Jimmy on January 16th.
Okay.
NFL divisional playoff lines: 7.5, 9.5 KC, 3.5 Buffalo.
And
wow,
Buffalo,
that total. By the way, Harry, that total, and this is from Shapiro at Bet Online, so it could be different elsewhere. But that total opened up there at 49 in Kansas City.
In Kansas City, it's now 53.
Woo!
On DraftKings. And you talk about Cincinnati Buffalo. It was 4 and 50.5. Now it's 3.5, 51. Then it went down. Now it's at 5 and 48.5. So people jumping on the Buffalo Bills.
I did that. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think I'm on all of these. Plus points. I really think, like, even looking at the Giants, that's a divisional game. I think it's going to be closer than the points are kind of, painting that picture, as well as the Bengals. I think the Bills getting -5, especially after last week. I feel like Joe Burrow, really, in comparison to Josh Allen, has had that sense of urgency, and kind of, as the kids are saying on social media, he's had that dog in him in comparison to these other quarterbacks that have looked somewhat more relaxed and on cruise control going through these first rounds.
The only problem, and this is why I jumped on Buffalo at right away when it was at 4 at -200. So I missed a half point, but it's now moved significantly. I imagine the money line is probably 225, if not higher. Joe Burrow could be without 1, if not 2 starting linemen this week. That's big for a team that I think has I don't want to say finally, but for a team that has figured out to an extent how to protect their quarterback, which was a major problem, or at least issue of concern, Matt, that's the only reason why I jumped, because I saw that right away that 2 of his starting linemen were weak. They were week to week, not day to day, week to week. So that gave me pause right there. So I jumped on Buffalo just to win the game, If you want them at 5, 5.5, 6, if it goes up there, I'm not hating on that by any means, but that was the biggest concern right there, was the 2 offensive linemen for Burrow.
And then, of course, we have Dallas going on the road to San Francisco. That line, where did that open? 4, 4.5 somewhere. It's now 3.5 and 46 in favor of the Niners. And, of course, now we're enduring the whole week that is after Dallas with a great performance and Dak Prescott looking great, that the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. And where is Tom Brady going to play next year? Is it going to be San Francisco or is it going to be Las Vegas? That's what's going to move the needle for ESPN until these next games are played. And I can't wait till they're played.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I hope he hurts himself this offseason and can't play anymore. Seriously. Like, no, I'm not saying he gets hit by a bus. I'm just saying, like, can't you sprain your knee walking up the stairs and just go away?
Let's say
maybe just a little herniated disc.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but skiing you could hit a tree. Like, I don't even want to go down that road.
He's moving furniture. He pulls his back a little bit.
We're not going Sonny Bono here on a ski slope,
are we? All right, I'm going Troy Tulowitzki. Remember when he hurt himself climbing up the stairs with groceries, allegedly?
Yeah. Or Jeff Kent washing his truck.
Thank you. Just give me something like that. Just get out of my life. Get off my TV set. I can't stand Tom Brady.
He will be on your TV set even if he's not playing, because he was going to go into the booth with Kevin Burkhardt for Fox. Don't forget about that.
But remember, Harry, in my house, we don't watch pre, mid, or post-game shows, and the games are on mute.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair point. Right. That's a fair point. But you were talking about Buffalo on the money line. I actually put them in one of my parlays. And they were -205 at the time on the money line, the Buffalo Bills. I put them with the Kansas City Chiefs at -390, and it got me down to 116. Buffalo KC parlay.
Yep.
That's one of my plays.
If you just so this is interesting, right? We have 4 games this week. Confidence level that you have as far as upset is concerned. My ranking would be San Francisco, Kansas City, Buffalo, Philadelphia. As far as
meaning the team that could be upset is San Francisco's the most or the least.
I agree.
Like Philadelphia stands the great, and it's not even so much as the matchup. It's just of all the other games, it would be hard for me to think that I don't see San Francisco. I know it's a tight line. I'm waiting for this to hit 3, and I'm going to slam it. In fact, I might take the Niners on the money line today. And I may do something that I always say you never do. But there's always an exception to the rule. Look, I think at 3.5, San Francisco is a candidate to tease at 6.5 points through the middle and still getting them at +3. It's the only time I would ever listen to a tease through 0 is if you are getting at least +3 on the other side. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I see the 3 right here as well on FanDuel. So
wait a second. They're just laying 3. That's it?
Yep. Just 3 for -118.
Well, there you go.
Now,
let's keep in mind also, Eitan, in light of your, confidence picks, if you will, having the Eagles as the team that you could most likely see being upset because of the other 3 games. It's been since Sunday, December 11th, that the Eagles have played a really good football game. And that was when they destroyed the Giants up in the Meadowlands, 48-22 in a laugher. Okay. The next week they played at Chicago, and it was it was an ugly game, 25-20. Then they lost Jalen Hurts, lost to Dallas without him, lost to New Orleans without him. He comes back and didn't look all that great, was good enough to win the game against a backup set of Giants. So it's been a long time since the Eagles have played one of their Eagles games like we remember the first 11, 12, 13 weeks of the season.
Jalen Hurts' health, I think, is what's predicated around that similar success. And you're right. It's
and Lane
really
Johnson.
Look, Lane Johnson. I think Lane Johnson is healthy enough in this game. Like, here's the thing: is Leonard Hamilton 100%? Leonard Hamilton, or am I getting his name?
Leonard Williams from the Giants.
Williams, yeah.
Williams.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
The Giants.
I'm thinking of the old.
You're thinking of the old
Leonard.
school.
right.
This is the first time
that was
these
a
teams
total
are
mad
facing.
dog right there, right?
So,
Leonard Hamilton.
Jesus.
The Giants have McKinney, Adoree Jackson, and now Thibodeau back, and everybody's full.
Jackson's back in this game, absolutely. Yeah. Thibodeau's healthier in this game. I think Lane is going to be okay. Like, I don't think you notice Lane Johnson's hurt. I'm worried more, and not to knock the Giants defense, it's done a ton for them, but I'm more worried about San Francisco versus that. That's where I think you'll see a noticeably hurt Lane Johnson. But I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts because, again, he's not out there in the regular season finale if they truly had any concern. That would be my logic to it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to.
I'm just not laying 7.5 points in a division game, but with anybody.
No,
I'd agree, and I think the run game of Jalen Hurts is really what it's going to come down to. I mean, you compare the offenses of Minnesota and Philadelphia, and they're somewhat similar in how many weapons they have. But then you look at the quarterbacks, and you can't expect Jalen Hurts to make the same mistake as you can Kirk Cousins. The whole time that the Giants are playing this game, I'm just thinking in the back of my head, eventually it's going to come down to Kirk Cousins having to make a smart decision, and I don't trust him to do that. Jalen Hurts, that's a guy that you've seen make smart moves. He's quick, he's decisive, and I think his run game is what it's going to come down to this Saturday.
All right, so go ahead.
I was going to say I'm interested in some player props as they pop up on Friday.
Okay, yeah, you definitely get it. That's a good Friday show because that's when they really start to filter out there. Although I am eyeing one right now, or two actually, in the Kansas City game, but I'll have those on Friday. I've already got them earmarked. I made a 3-team teaser, Eitan, just for you. A 6.5 point teaser where I took the Kansas City Chiefs to -2, getting underneath the 3 number. I took the Eagles down to 0.5 point. All they got to do is win the freaking game. And the Cincinnati Bengals up to 10.5. 6.5 pointer got me +150.
Yeah. I mean, look, I like the thought process. The first thing I always do, especially when I build one, right? Not just with you or anyone else, is which is the leg that's going to bust it, right? Like which are you? I am actually least confident in Cincinnati. I know Cherico's all Cherico'd up with the Bengals here and Joe Burrow and all, but
Joey B.
I am. The Bengals bother me this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, they do. They worry me. They concern me.
Wow.
But I like the teaser as a whole, and you're through
some
every key
numbers.
number that you want to be, right? 3, 7, and 6. So it makes a lot of sense.
I could see
All
the
right.
concern coming with the Bengals defense. I mean, considering how they played Tyler Huntley, it's like, how are you going to play Josh Allen? If you almost let up, a game-winning drive. I mean, basically, jump from the free throw line to Tyler Huntley on that last prayer where he fumbled. If it wasn't for that, and like J.K. Dobbins had said, if Lamar Jackson's playing, they probably do lose that game. So I understand the concern with the Bengals, but at the same time, I think Josh Allen has been so shaky as of late.
Dude, he can do some whack things. I'm telling you. They're
His
like, you're like,
decision-making.
what is he thinking?
It's very questionable at times. And I think if the Bengals could just make that same mistake, I think Josh Allen's more likely to right now than Joe Burrow is.
Yeah. Josh Allen kept the Miami Dolphins in that football game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
and this is what you get, though, with all this forced divisional shit, where it's 3 straight weeks of division games. It's just inevitable that even, like, we see it in the AFC South at times, and we see it in bad divisions where it's just a shitty team.
NFC South.
Is gonna yes,
Yeah.
thank you. The NFC South is the best example of that. Bad teams hang around even a good team because it's like, okay, we know this squad.
Right.
Some of that is just the NFL doing what they do.
Like, how's that line so short in that Carolina Panthers game? And then you watch the game on Red Zone, and you're like, man, they're in this damn thing.
It's amazing to see that. You're right.
It is amazing. All right,
But that's
you guys,
what they wanted.
I know
Go
you
ahead.
guys have, some NBA, college basketball, perhaps, and Eitan's hockey. What do you got?
All right, I did take the 10 points. I know it's a lot. It is a lot. And East Carolina has not looked great over the past couple of games here.
Lost
I
4
don't know-
straight by an average of 13 points in conference. Yes.
Right. But I also am not willing to crown Temple as
No.
far as a turned around program.
Nor should you.
By any means, right? So if it's let down, if it's just that they haven't arrived at what they want to be yet, I know they're healthier now, which is huge, and that's probably baked into that line. But even you, as a Temple honk, Harry, were a little surprised at 10.
Oh, I was
jumped
stunned.
on 10. Yes. The only other one I'll throw out here, I'll give you 2 real quick. Kale McCarr, right?
Not Nick Kale.
Right? Over 2.5 shots on goal. You'll lay a little on that. That's fine. -140 is no problem. And then I'm going to give you a quick little 2-leg parlay in the NHL. All right? You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Dallas Stars on the money line, which is going to be like -150 or so, depending on where you get it. 155 probably, depending on where you get it. That parlayed with Steven Stamkos over 2.5 shots on goal. Okay?
Okay.
There you have it.
All right.
No NBA as of yet.
Man, we're going NHL shot props here.
Shots
and it's
on
only
goal. Look,
January.
I'm just giving you what's working for me, Harry. All right?
Wow.
I wouldn't give it to you if it didn't work.
All right, tonight I'm going with back at the player performance double. Luka Doncic 35+ in a win against the Atlanta Hawks tonight.
Nice.
This one's coming in at +225, and this one, obviously, Atlanta Hawks are the team that traded away Luka in that Trey, Luka swap. So tonight, this is going to be something personal, and the backcourt of Atlanta is just so bad defensively. I mean, these guys, DeJounte Murray and Trey Young, if you're expecting them to play any defense, they're not. They simply aren't. They refuse to. They're only one side of the ball type of guys, and it hasn't worked out in Atlanta for that reason specifically. There's just not, enough chemistry there between two guys that are ball dominant and offensive minded to, have anything good going. So I'm taking Luka 35+ and a win. And then I'm also taking De'Aaron Fox 25+ points tonight. Just the points. He put up 25+ in 5 of his last 10 and 23+ in 8 of his last 10. He also had 29 points against the same Lakers team. And when you look at the Lakers without Anthony Davis, they're 25th in defensive rating when he's not on the floor. So they're top 5 in pace at the same time. So I think this is a game where a speedy guy like De'Aaron Fox, he's going to be able to thrive. And 24 points doesn't seem too high for him.
Is there a point total high enough for Luka Doncic right now, or is he like the NBA version of a Big 12 game on a Saturday night?
It might be. I mean, the NBA's been so saturated.
It's at 34.5, man. I mean, that's insane. That is insane. For him to be that far away from the basket and have a point total like that is ridiculous.
It is absurd.
And I'm betting it.
I tell you, I like, real quick, the other prop that I think I would tail with that would be going, if you can still get it at plus money, I'd go over 9.5 rebounds for Luka tonight too. I don't know what they're going to do in Atlanta to keep him off the glass. and he normally is a tough matchup as is. You have to pick your poison, I think, with Luka. Hardaway is expected to play, right? Or no, maybe he's the lone guy that's out. You've got DFS back. You've got some depth back, Josh Green. So I think they try and limit his scoring and passing first and second. It's going to be hard to keep him off the glass.
Yeah.
What are his MVP odds? Is he where is he on the MVP?
He's got to be right there with Tatum.
Yeah,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I think
I mean, on a nightly basis. I know everybody wants Joel Embiid, but I mean that's cherry picking.
Right.
Like what? Look, Jason Tatum too. It's hard to ignore what he's doing too.
Yeah.
Hey, we bet on him the other day. We said that I said that -8 and 51 points. I mean,
wow.
The superstars are definitely showing out in the NBA going into the All-Star break for sure.
All right. Anything else? Or we're coming back on Friday with some more in-depth stuff for the divisional rounds
I think
and some player
game by
props.
game Friday.
Right. Definitely.
Touchdown
Absolutely.
props.
All right. Everybody enjoy the next 2 nights of sports. We'll see you on Friday morning. Good luck with your bets.